You're watching News Today. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Our top talking point tonight, RSS leader Indresh Kumar's direct drive at the BJP. Bhagwan Ram stopped the party that became arrogant at 241. But, viewers, he's just about 20 minutes ago made a U-turn. Indresh Kumar of the RSS has backtracked after the controversy erupted at the back of his statement. We'll get you exactly what he said. But the question still remains, is there disquiet in the Parivar? That's our top focus. But first up, allow me to take you through the headlines. Melody's Namaste to Prime Minister Modi goes viral. Modi hugs Ukrainian President Zelensky during bilateral on the sidelines of G7. Modi says way to peace through dialogue. Also, hold talks with Prime Minister Sunak and President Macron. Supreme Court issues notice to NTA on plea seeking CBI probe in NEET trial, refuses to stay counselling again. Education Minister meets aspirants, assures them of a fair probe. Mortal remains of Indians killed in Kuwait fire brought back to Kochi and Delhi. Kerala Chief Minister Union Mantri Suresh Gopi pays tribute. Families are distraught. Partial relief to B.S. Yediyurappa in POCSO case. Court gives the former Karnataka Chief Minister protection from arrest till June 17th. Chilling CCTV images emerge in the Sandalwood murder case. Victim Renuka Swami's abduction caught on camera. Abduction allegedly on the pretext of arranging a meeting between him and actor Darshan. After reports of a rift between RSS and BJP, RSS sources issue clarification, say Indresh's remark on BJP arrogance is not the Sangh's official view. War of words between BJP and Maharashtra ally NCP over article by RSS leader. Article called BJP's tie-up with Ajit Pawar an ill-advised move. Delhi's Lieutenant Governor Vinay Kumar Saxena has granted sanction for author Arundhati Roy to be prosecuted under UAPA for her alleged provocative speech in 2010. The police had also accused Roy for actions related to public mischief. And lastly, a massive twist in the Sheena Bora murder case. Sheena's skeletal remains have gone missing. Prosecution to proceed without bones as evidence. What does this mean for Indrani Mukherjee? All right, the latest news break coming in. The Delhi Lieutenant Governor has sanctioned prosecution of author Arundhati Roy. Arundhati Roy now will be prosecuted under UAPA. The action on Roy's 2010 alleged provocative speech. It was a speech that was made 14 years ago, and the Lieutenant Governor has now sanctioned the prosecution of Arundhati Roy. All right, joining me for more, my colleague Nalini Sharma on the phone line. Nalini, you know, the LG coming in, okaying the prosecution of Arundhati Roy, sanctioning it under UAPA for a speech that Arundhati made all the way back in 2010.
Well, absolutely, Preeti. That's the latest coming in regarding the speech that was made by her. It was an event in Delhi in 2010 when the speech was made. And it's not just Arundhati Roy, it's also a Kashmiri University professor called Sheikh Hussain, who has also been granted the sanction for the prosecution to continue against him. Essentially, back in 2010, during an event in New Delhi, Arundhati Roy had spoken about Kashmir. It was an event about Kashmir that was ongoing, where she had spoken about how Kashmir is not an integral part of India. And it is for those comments that his prosecution has now been granted. Last year, if I'm not wrong, in October, the sanction was given for the prosecution under the IPC and the CRPC. But now in the latest, the LG is also given the sanction against the under the UAPA, which is the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, which is a far more stringent law than the IPC or the CRPC, which essentially means that there is a likelihood that Arundhati Roy might now be under arrest for a statement that was made by her 14 years back in the national capital. It remains to be seen how the Delhi police proceeds regarding this case, but they had specifically asked for the prosecution to happen, on the basis of which the Lieutenant Governor has now granted the sanction.
Being booked under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act is huge, and if action is taken, the question that I want to ask you, Nalini, this was regarding a speech that Arundhati Roy made in 2010. What were the contents of that speech? It's a speech which was 14 years old, and, now she'd be prosecuted under UAPA. What does that actually mean for her?
Well, Preeti, to put it simply, it means quite bad news coming in for Arundhati Roy, because the fact that a stringent law, the sanction has been granted for her to be prosecuted under a stringent law, essentially means that there is a strong likelihood that she might be arrested. Like I told you earlier, she was speaking at an event in New Delhi about Kashmir, where she had specifically stated that Kashmir is not an integral part of India, which is why there were charges that were levied against her, not only for making provocative speeches, but also for mischief, for promoting enmity between the groups. And in that regard, the sanction now has been granted under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act by the Delhi's Lieutenant Governor. The sanction is the part after which the prosecution can officially begin, because the Delhi police is not allowed to prosecute a person until and unless the LG gives a sanction under the UAPA, which has now officially been granted. So now the Delhi police can continue and move further in the investigation against her. It might be, not speculating at this point, but considering the fact that it's a stringent law and the fact that she's been charged with serious offences, she might now face arrest. But that all remains upon Delhi police, how they decide to proceed in this entire case and what happens in the coming days. But no doubt, it means bad news, not only for Arundhati Roy, but also for others. The Kashmiri professor Sheikh Hussain, against whom the prosecution has also been granted, who was also part of the event that was happening in New Delhi, had also made a speech. So it remains to be seen whether or not they will be officially put under arrest. But it's a big development. It is a 14-year-old case, but the prosecution under the UAP has finally been granted by the Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital.
All right, we don't want to speculate right now, but there could be an arrest in order. And how stringent the UAPA is, for example, it's required that a court to deny bail if there is reasonable ground that is established that the accusations are true, prima facie true. Very difficult to get bail. Appreciate you joining us, Nalini. We're going to come back to you for more. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments in the case. Meanwhile, I'm going to cut across to the other big political developing story today. RSS leader Indresh Kumar's jibe at the BJP has created massive buzz in the political arena. He said Bhagwan Ram had stopped a party that became arrogant at 241. He's backtracked 20 minutes ago. But listen in to what he said initially, which led to massive controversy.
First, RSS Sarsang Chalak Mohan Bhagwat and now Indresh Kumar. The BJP's ideological fount is sending out one alert after another to its Parivar member.
इसलिए जिस पार्टी ने भक्ति की अहंकार आया उसको 241 पर रोक दिया, पर सबसे बड़ी बना दी। जिनके अंदर राम की अनास्था थी, अश्रद्धा थी, और उनको सबको मिलकर 234 पर रोक दिया। कहा तुम्हारी अनास्था का यही दंड तुम्हें है कि तुम सफल नहीं हो सकते। इसलिए जो राम की भक्ति करे तो निरअहंकार करे, और जो राम का विरोध करे उसका कल्याण अपने आप है, प्रभु नहीं बिगाड़ता।
RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat was the first one to fire jibes at the BJP after the party failed to get majority in the Lok Sabha election.
काम करे, लेकिन मैंने किया ये अहंकार न पाले, तो हम इस देश की सच्ची सेवा कर रहे ऐसा होगा। भारत को खड़ा करना है तो समाज को इस प्रकार बनना पड़ेगा। समाज ऐसे बनेगा तो व्यवस्थाएं और व्यवस्था चलाने वाले लोग अपने आप उसके पीछे पीछे चलकर ऐसा बनेंगे।
After the stunning setback suffered by the BJP in Uttar Pradesh, barely a few months after the Ayodhya Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha ceremony, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is set to meet Bhagwat on Saturday.
It remains to be seen how this meeting will translate into a coordination between the RSS and the BJP government, with the fact that how a lot of reactions and a lot of heat has already been taken by the issue.
A political war of words has erupted after the RSS made its displeasure known. The opposition claims that differences between the BJP and RSS are out in the open.
त्यांना गरज नाही या संघाची. संघ त्यांना काय सल्ला देतो मला कळतच नाही. ज्यांना गरज नाही त्यांना हे फुकटाची सल्ला देत असेल तर संघानेच आपली व्यवस्था सुधारवली पाहिजे एवढंच आमचं म्हणणं आहे. काय त्याला कारण की देशाचे भाजपचे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जे.पी. नड्डांनी सांगितले आम्हाला गरजच नाही यांची. मग कशाचा सल्ला देतात?
रावण अहंकारी था, इसलिए प्रभु श्री राम ने रावण का पराभव किया, उनका वध किया. आज वही अहंकार राम के नाम पर चल रहा था. जनता ने अहंकार को रोक दिया है, पूरी तरह से पराजित नहीं हुआ है. वो काम आरएसएस को करना पड़ेगा.
मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम की उस छवि को हम मानते हैं जिसे बापू मानते थे. हम चुनावी राम भक्त नहीं होना चाहते. मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम के चरित्र को अगर देखिएगा तो आपको ये 241 वाले मीलों दूर नजर आएंगे. बस इतना ध्यान रखिए इंद्रेश जी.
The BJP has played down the criticism by RSS.
जितनी भारतीय जनता पार्टी को सीट मिली है 240 सीट, उतना कांग्रेस का 3 चुनाव का भी अगर काउंट करें तो लोग नहीं पहुंचते हैं.
The Ram Mandir priest has come out in support of the BJP.
इसमें स्वयं इंद्रेश जी असफल हो गए, इसलिए वो आरोप अपने असफल होने का आरोप भाजपा पर लगाते हैं और उसको यह कह रहे हैं कि अभिमान हो गया है. और अभिमान नहीं हो गया है, वो अपने ढंग से जो भी करते रहे वही ठीक करते रहे.
With the kind of statements coming out from the RSS stable, it's pretty clear everything is not well between the BJP and the RSS. The Bharatiya Janata Party, however, is maintaining that the line of communication between the RSS and BJP is intact, and in the coming state elections, one will see both of them working together. But the RSS at the moment believes that there was some kind of arrogance being dealt to the RSS with regards to the Bharatiya Janata Party's top leadership. Now, will both of them work together in the upcoming state elections is the big question. With camera person Kripal Singh, this is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting for India Today.
All right, news break just coming in. Now the RSS leader, Indresh Kumar, who you just heard a short while back, stating that it was Lord Ram that stopped an arrogant party at 241. Has backtracked. He has said... Now, he says that those who worship Lord Ram are in power and the country will flourish under Prime Minister Modi. Listen in.
जिन्होंने राम का विरोध किया वो सब सत्ता से बाहर हैं. जिन्होंने राम की भक्ति का संकल्प लिया आज वो सत्ता में हैं और तीसरी बार की सरकार श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में बन गई है. देश उनके नेतृत्व में दिन दुगनी रात चौगनी तरक्की करेगा, यह विश्वास जन जन में जागृत हुआ है और ये विश्वास फले फूले, इसकी शुभकामना करते हैं.
The fact is, viewers, is there disquiet where the RSS is concerned vis-a-vis the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because the RSS and the political wing, the Bharatiya Janata Party, are very, very closely linked. How does the RSS, the Sangh, guide the Bharatiya Janata Party? We'll just take it down for our viewers. An RSS office bearer is usually appointed as a coordinator between the Sangh and the party, the Bharatiya Janata Party. This coordinator ensures that the party remains on the right ideological path. The coordinator's role is mainly as an advisory role. RSS also deputes Pracharaks as BJP General Secretary. Now, the BJP General Secretary works only for the party. BL Santosh is the current link, the BJP General Secretary, between the RSS as well as the BJP. Regular meetings at multiple levels are held between the RSS and the Bharatiya Janata Party. Right after the verdict, viewers, you might have noticed there was a high-profile meeting at the Prime Minister's residence with not just Amit Shah and the current party president J.P. Nadda, but also prominent RSS leaders who were all there, dissecting on what went down as the nation voted. Well, what we've seen of late, we saw a statement made by RSS chief, Mr. Mohan Bhagwat, a short while ago, which was political in nature. First political statement right after the verdict for 2024, in which he had also mentioned, about Manipur. But a lot of people looked at one statement where he spoke of ahankar, arrogance. This morning, you had an Indresh Kumar echo the same statement, but of course he's made a U-turn, backtracked, taken his words back, and stating that those who follow Ram right now are in government and the country will flourish under Prime Minister Modi. However, what he said in the morning was something very different. Through the course of this 1 week, we've had many multiple BJP leaders as well as the RSS officially distancing themselves. Even today, the RSS said these are not the views of the Sangh. This is the personal view of Mr. Indresh Kumar, who now has backtracked. But in totality, is there disquiet where the Sangh is concerned vis-a-vis the Bharatiya Janata Party? We take it to our panelists this evening. Professor Sangeet Ragi, political analyst, joining me. Raghav Awasthi, political analyst, member, Manifesto Subcommittee of the BJP. Ashutosh, author and political analyst. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, author, Narendra Modi, the man, the Times journalist, someone who also has watched the RSS very closely. Mr. Mukhopadhyay, let's begin with you. How do you read the current situation, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, of what you see? Because, it's interesting, at least where the Modi government is concerned, we've seen, the influence of the RSS diminish, but strangely so, a dichotomy of sorts, because it's been the Prime Minister who fulfilled a lot of what has been the RSS agenda.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of disquiet within the Sangh Parivar. Right through the campaign, there are two absolute realities which nobody can deny. One is that the BJP's performance has come down from what it was in 2019. And the second is that the famed door-to-door campaigning, which the RSS has always done, was not done in these elections. Instead, it was said, that instead of the door-to-door campaigning, the RSS actually held closed-door meetings. I really do not know, what was the efficacy of these closed-door meetings. But what we are seeing is not just one, but a series of statements and articles which have been written. First was Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, the former vice president. He made a statement saying that in this verdict, there is a very clear message. And talking about that, it is very important to articulate the sentiments of the poor. Now, obviously, the message is for somebody who has not done as well as was expected. So obviously, the message would be interpreted that it is for the BJP. Message that the poor have not been, their wishes have not been really fulfilled, means that possibly there was something wrong in the BJP, that it was not egalitarian enough. That is the message. Then there was an article in the Organizer, where also there were all kinds of criticism that, that it was wrong to Modi ji is fighting on all 543 seats. This has a limited value. The idea became self-defeating when candidates were changed. There's a complaint against the local MPs, MLAs and ministers, that they are insensitive, they don't meet the cadre. Regarding the developments in Maharashtra, talking about unnecessary politicking, when it was fairly well settled there. The need for conversations with communities, saying that it is very important before passing laws that government must actually hold dialogue with communities, which obviously means that they have not been done. Then Mr. Bhagwat's statement, the fact that, he went into this entire aspect of who is a true sevak, what should be the attributes. Now, sevak is a word which has become very closely associated with Prime Minister Modi, because he says that he is the Pradhan Sevak of the country. Now, there, if Mr. Bhagwat says that a true sevak is a person who should not have any arrogance, he's not saying that it is being, meant for being targeted at Mr. Modi, but he's also not stopping anybody from interpreting his words the way anybody wishes to do it. He also says a lot of things, that in this election, a lot of lies were issued, that parliamentary decorum has not been maintained. He's also saying elections is not a war, that the other side is not a virodhi, that is the word he used, and he uses the word for the opposition, that is pratipaksh, which is actually quite different. That it is, you have to assume that in every election, in every political contest, there will always be the other side. Whereas in the last few months, we have seen, complete negation of anybody disagreeing with the government, with the BJP, straight away being labeled as anti-national. So that is the interpretation which one can make.
Right.
today's statement also, I think, statement and then backtrack. Obviously, there has been pressure to backtrack, and that is why it has been done. Ties between RSS is not heading for a complete, parting of ways. But there definitely are problems stemming essentially out of the fact that while Narendra Modi remains committed to the ideology of Hindutva and the Sangh Parivar, but as far as the functional style and the working ethos are concerned, he has outgrown that. He no longer believes in the credo that the Vyakti is not is more important than the Sangathan. I got confused. That the individual is more important than the organization, whereas the RSS believes that the organization is more important.
Well, that was the dichotomy, the question that I hinted at, because it's strange. You've seen the RSS influence diminish, but he's the man who's actually, held true to what has been the RSS agenda in multiple ways, and for it to reach fruition. But Sangeet, Ragi, what is it that has irked the RSS as per you? Because all through the campaign as well, multiple times we've discussed that the RSS doesn't seem as enthusiastic of participating in this election or doing the legwork on which is built, the mammoth juggernaut of Prime Minister Modi and the BJP.
First of all, to say that what Mohan Bhagwat ji said was a jibe at the BJP or the Prime Minister, it is basically erroneous. And it is full of speculative, intuitive wisdom of anyone who says like that. Second point, whatever has been reflected in the article of the organizer does not mean the voice of the RSS at all. Third, right from the beginning in the morning itself, I have been saying that Indresh ji is a senior functionary of the RSS, senior Swayamsevak of the RSS, but his voice is not the voice of the RSS because he doesn't lead any of the important organizational structure of the RSS as such. He is the one who has been coordinating with the Rashtriya Muslim Manch, and he has been working with the Muslims who didn't vote in this election for the BJP at all. Anything. First of all, let me make it very clear that what RSS, the context is very important. He was addressing the Swayamsevak, which were a part of the OTC program, Sangh Shiksha Work. And therefore, there are lakhs of seva works in this country, which are conducted by 69 constituent organizations of the RSS. RSS Banwasi Kalyan Ashram works in the 44,000 villages of the country. Similarly, Vishwa Hindi Parishad or Seva Bharati or Seva International or Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, take any organization, including Vishwa Hindu Parishad, we will be finding that the thousands and thousands of the Seva Prakalps are. So Sangh Pramukh speaks twice in a year. One at the time of, on the day of the Vijayadashmi, when RSS was constituted, and when the Sangh Sivir takes place, where it is in Nagpur, is very important place, where the third year OTC, or right now it has been renamed as Sangh Shiksha. So there he is addressing the Swayamsevaks, and at the same time also bringing in certain questions which concerns all of us in the public life and also in political life. So why do we see that when opposition, he is defining opposition, why it should not be read that in West Bengal, the BJP workers and the RSS workers are being treated as enemy, they are being killed, their houses are being bombed. And why it should not be treated that it was aimed at those people who have...
It's in the realms of speculation, Professor Ragi, and therefore let me ask you the second follow-up question. If you say that it was aimed at the opposition, then definitely Manipur cannot be aimed at the opposition, sir. Because the opposition has been very, very vocal when it comes down to Manipur. And for the RSS chief to bring Manipur into the picture, saying that Manipur is it's looking at peace, uski raha dekh raha hai. It's saying a bit, no? It's not a message, I would reckon, for the opposition.
All right. Let me answer this question. Manipur, he certainly talked about, but let me make you very clear that Manipur has been, who inflamed Manipur? Is there no role of the other political parties? Who has been, bringing this kind of a conflict, ethnic conflicts in Manipur? Is it the BJP? No. because the ST category status has been given to the people in the plane, and somebody who is, what is the role of
So
the
you're
church
saying
in
that
the
you're saying
what
that
is the role
despite
of the,
okay, so Professor Ragi, what you're saying, hear me out. So hear the question out. So you're saying despite of the Chief Minister of Manipur, who comes from the Bharatiya Janata Party, stating everything is back, everything is normal, you had the RSS chief bring up Manipur to taunt the opposition, which is the Congress. Is that what you mean?
No, that I didn't say. I think that it is your words, it is your statement, and it is your conclusion. This is not my conclusion.
No, sir, it's a question. It's not a conclusion.
No. This is what you derived. My submission is very simple. That Manipur is a very, very sensitive issue, and the people, there are forces which have inflamed Manipur. It is not only the BJP which has done it. So understand this, that RSS has been fighting in the northeast. You know, there are forces which have been fighting against India in the northeast. So why don't we take those issues in consideration? Religious conversion is one issue. The
Fair
ethnic
point. So basically, as per, like, you're right, sir, I do agree that it is in the realms of speculation, though usually at the kind of meeting that the RSS chief was addressing, we have never seen him make a political statement. He did so, but it's in the realms of speculation. The RSS has made it very clear, that all of this has nothing to do with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Even today, the RSS, stayed away from the entire controversy and said that these are the views of Indresh Kumar. And by the evening, the end of day, Indresh Kumar himself came out and backtracked. So it's in the realms of speculation. You're allowed, you're allowed to interpret it in whichever way that you want. I just want to cut across to Raghav Avasthi, and I'll bring in Ashutosh and go back to Mr. Mukhopadhyay. Raghav Avasthi, do you think all is still well between the RSS, the Sangh and the Bharatiya Janata Party? Or clearly there's been disquiet and it was just waiting to come out, what we've seen, and we haven't seen just one such instance?
No, I'm not going to go to the extent of saying that there is any disquiet, but the fact is this.
Okay, Raghav Avasthi, we've lost you, but we're going to try and connect back. Let me say not disquiet, Raghav Avasthi, if we still have you. Was there at least, where the elections was concerned, a hands-off approach by the RSS when it came down to campaigning for the BJP? Okay, we're going to try and get in Raghav. Ashutosh, you want to take that question? Because at least that is something that we did see. Lots of times I remember, we've discussed in television studios that there's something off on ground. We don't see that kind of support by the RSS. Did you see a hands-off approach this election?
The tension between the BJP and the RSS has been simmering for a very, very long time. Mr. Bhagwat has chosen the right time to strike back and to reclaim the ground which the RSS has conceded in the last few years. There is a serious disquiet and there is a serious understanding within the RSS sector at the top level. The top level is that in the direction that Narendra Modi and the BJP is taking Hindutva, this is going to tarnish the image of the Hindutva, Hindu and the RSS itself. So Mohan Bhagwat is very categorical, and whatever he has said, he has not withdrawn. The people on behalf of the RSS are coming on the TV channels are claiming that this is not what he meant. I want to hear Mohan Bhagwat or the official spokesperson of the RSS to come out openly and say his statement does not mean to attack the BJP or to target it to Narendra Modi. The fact of the matter is that everything, whatever has been said by Mohan Bhagwat, he stands by. And it is more than 72 hours. He hasn't withdrawn. He hasn't done anything to retrieve. The point number 2, why this is happening? This is happening for the simple reason because today the RSS, which believed in the collective leadership, the RSS, which believed into the organization, today the one person, Mr. Narendra Modi, has become bigger than the organization, bigger than the ideology, and that is where the concern of the RSS is. This does not mean that Mr. Narendra Modi has not worked on the ideology. He has worked on the ideology. Rather, the BJP ideology has been strengthened, but he is taking too far, and that is where the problem lies. And today, RSS thinks that if the kind of condemnation which is Hindutva is getting globally, if it goes, it continues like that, then it is going to tarnish the image of Hindu and Hindutva globally, and that is going to damage BJP and the RSS. And Indresh Kumar is not an ordinary leader. He is at par with the, if not at par, at least in the Sangh Ayu jise kehte hain. the age, since the day you joined RSS. Indresh Kumar and Bhagwat are almost at the same Sangh Ayu. So his words has to be taken seriously. He has withdrawn, partially has withdrawn his statement. I agree completely that point. But there is a serious problem in the RSS and the BJP, Bhagwat and Narendra Modi.
You know, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, I'll come to you, Mr. Ragi. Allow me to go back to Mukhopadhyay and I'll come right back to you after that. Mr. Mukhopadhyay, to draw you back into this conversation, the fact is, you know, it's not always that the relationship till now has been great between the RSS and the BJP. It's blown hot, blown cold. You look at the Vajpayee era, where you had K.S. Sudarshan as the Sarsang Chalak. Even then, it got a little cold. I remember there was a time, when I was reading up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, on the issue of who will be the finance minister. You had a Mr. Vajpayee who wanted Jaswant Singh, but the RSS was very clear that they wanted Yashwant Sinha. After that, the cold relationship, seemed to be a thaw, especially after Mohan Bhagwat came into the picture. So there's been a history of ups and downs, Mr. Mukhopadhyay.
Yes, of course. The incident that you are referring to was in 1998, March 1998, when Mr. Vajpayee was to form the first, NDA government. And the RSS was very clear that Pramod Mahajan and Jaswant Singh would not become ministers because they had lost the Lok Sabha elections. They said that it is against the ethos of the Sangh Parivar that anybody who has lost the election should be made a minister. It was made very clear to Mr. Vajpayee that you can bring them into parliament by another route through the Rajya Sabha or another by-election, and then you can make them minister. So then a way out was found that Pramod Mahajan was appointed as the advisor to the Prime Minister in the PMO, and Jaswant Singh was sent to the Planning Commission as the deputy chairman. And a few months later, when they were brought into the Rajya Sabha, they were made ministers. So that is how it happened. There was also this great hostility between the RSS and the BJP. 2004 and 5, 2004, people from the BJP alleged that one of the reasons as to why the party could not win, end up as the single largest party was because the RSS did not effectively campaign for them. And then 2005, there was a tremendous drive by the Sarsang Chalak of that time, K.S. Sudarshan, to get Advani and Mr. Vajpayee to vacate the leadership position for new people to come in. And they kept on pressuring till the time that they actually, sidelined Mr. Advani out as the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha first, and then later on, eventually, Narendra Modi was made the prime ministerial candidate of the BJP in 2013. So the RSS has played a role. There have been occasions where ties have been very strained, which is what is appearing now. And the big question is that the coordination, the participation in the coordination committee meetings, where the RSS would be meeting and listening to reports of what has happened of all the organizations which are part of the Sangh Parivar. Somebody says, Mr. Ragi said 69. I think if I heard him correctly, somebody says 40. There is actually no fixed figure, but there is actually a huge network of organizations. Virtually every walk of life, you have the presence of RSS. We have to accept that. So there is that coordination meeting. What I would be looking at is that the next time that there is such a meeting, is the BJP present there to discuss what it has to say. Regarding the various statements which are being made, I think it is also being caused. The article in the organizer, everybody knows that the organizer and the Panjane were launched by the RSS way back in the 1940s. It's actually a very convenient arrangement that we are not connected, but we are also connected. When it is convenient, you say we are connected. When it is not convenient, you say it is not.
But you do give the message out. The messaging is very clear.
You have had Mr. Vajpayee as the editor of one of the two, magazines. He was the editor of Panjane. You have had very senior leaders. K.R. Malkani was the editor of Organizer at one point. Mr. Advani used to write for the Organizer at one point. Very, interestingly, on cinema. So there have been very close connections, and anything which is published in the in the Organizer cannot be said that it is just somebody else writing. There is obviously a certain concern which is being voiced.
No, and voiced, and at least the messaging has been delivered. Now, what happens after that? Who takes it back? And it's it's not just one person saying it. But Professor Ragi, you wanted to come in. I'll come back to you. Also, we've got Raghav Avasthi back into this conversation. The fact is, Professor Ragi, for somebody who does follow the RSS, the influence of the RSS has diminished, like Mr. Mukhopadhyay also elucidated with examples. Gone are the days where the RSS could actually control on who will be the finance minister, who will be taken to the planning commission. That's not really happening at this point of time. So there has to be admittance, at least, that communication is not there. That kind of control is not there. Is there disquiet, at least perception-wise, optics-wise? Yes.
There can be a difference of opinion between two organizations. RSS is an organization which is separate from the Bharatiya Janata Party. But that cannot be, concluded as the disquiet between the two organizations, number one. Number two, nobody denied that the RSS doesn't have a link with the Panjan or organizer. But there, you need to make a distinction between the fact that what appears in the news magazine or the organizer or the Panjan doesn't mean that the writer's voice is the voice of the RSS at all. RSS is not consulted by any. I can also write article in the RSS. I have written so many times for the RSS organizer and the Panjan. That doesn't mean that is the voice of the RSS at all. I think that you are reading too much into it. Interestingly, you rightly mentioned that when Vajpayee government was there, Dato Panthengri called Jaswant Sinha, who was the preferable choice of the RSS, that he is not Arth Mantri, he is Anarth Mantri. Earlier, the RSS was against Jaswant Singh, but subsequently, because you know that when the Vajpayee government was formed for 13 days, on 7th day, Enron project was signed, which was opposed by Swadeshi Jagran Manch. And let me answer Asutosh. What Asutosh is talking about is just based on the grapevine and the rumor mills which keep going on. I'm not denying that there is no difference of opinion between the RSS and the BJP. But let me tell you one point, that in the Delhi itself, 125,000 meetings were organized by the RSS. I am again repeating this statement. 125,000 meetings were organized by the RSS, which went into probably all the nook and corners of Delhi and arranged meeting. So to say that the RSS didn't work for, that's incorrect. That is erroneous.
All right, okay, but Professor Ragi, you gave the example of Delhi, and possibly you can be correct. But you can half those meetings because in Haryana, the messaging was very different. In Uttar Pradesh, the messaging was very different. So in certain states where the political dynamics were conducive with the state government and the state leadership, it worked beautifully because there was coordination. Otherwise, there wasn't.
No, I don't think that without support of the RSS, the BJP would have got, complete, all the seats in Madhya Pradesh or even in other states.
No,
what do you think that the BJP didn't work in Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand, or in...
Let me cut across to Raghav Avasthi and also, I want to bring in Raghav Avasthi into this conversation as well. Raghav Avasthi, I'm sorry to cut you short, just need to, get on with closing comments. But the fact is, does the BJP now, Raghav Avasthi, need to introspect? Because somewhere down the line, it needs to understand, does it need the RSS as hugely as before, or can it ride out on its own?
I think there is definitely a need for introspection. Nobody is denying that. The fact is that the BJP has actually fallen short of the high standards that it has set for itself. There is absolutely no denying that, and if you're actually denying that, then I think it's not correct. And secondly, yes, the RSS has played a major role. It has birthed the BJP. It has been the ideological mentor. But to say that there should be interference of the RSS in day-to-day matters of the BJP is also wrong. What we need to do now is to sit down and try and figure out as to why the BJP could not cross 300 seats. Because 300 seats, or at least even get a clear majority, because fact that all of these so-called secular politicians who are saying today that they have some sort of great love.
Okay. All right, let's take,
They
okay, we're having a problem with your audio link, Raghav. We need to correct that. I want to just take quick, comments in from Ashutosh as well as Mr. Mukhopadhyay before I close, and Mr. Ragi, 30 seconds each. Ashutosh, how do you see it going forward? Because it seems the message has been delivered, and from now on, there's only going ahead. Because the RSS has made it very clear, at least optics-wise. You're on mute, sir.
Preeti, it is obvious that there is a crisis. But the RSS supporter can always beat around the bush. There is a crisis and they have to understand this. And there is a lot of hypocrisy on behalf of the RSS and their supporters. Look, in 2009, what has happened? What has happened? Why Mohan Bhagwat had to come down to Delhi and tell to the whole world that these gang of four will not become the party president? Who got Nitin Gadkari from Nagpur to make him the party president? Who got Lalkesh Advani's resignation when he made a statement about Jinnah? So this hypocrisy has to be told in as many words. The fact of the matter is that the RSS runs and operates BJP, and it is very comfortable for them to intelligently make a distance. No, we have nothing to do with the BJP. It's a hardcore political organization which doesn't want to believe into the honesty of the purpose. Though it talks about idealism, it talks about morality, but
Okay.
what was the need? What was the need when Advani was to be replaced and Nitin Gadkari was to be replaced? Why the RSS did that? So I am only saying is that today the BJP is going through a crisis, and RSS is going through a crisis, and Mohan Bhagwat wants to take BJP out of the choppy water. It's as simple. There's nothing less.
All right,
nothing
so it's
more.
another way. It's, sometimes you have to do it with a hard hand. But Mr. Mukhopadhyay, is that how you read it? It's another way of reading the writing on the wall, loudly so, for the Bharatiya Janata Party, so it can, steer the BJP ship to calmer waters.
I have always said, that as far as Mr. Modi is concerned, his Gujarat years were actually a kind of a dress rehearsal for what he has been doing in Delhi since 2014. So to understand this phase of, what is going on between the BJP and the RSS, we have to step back and look at, the decade after he became the chief minister. When the RSS actually felt that he's become chief minister, he's been a pracharak, so he would be consulting us very regularly. But Mr. Modi was very clear that he is not going to be consulting on matters of governance with the RSS. It actually led to a fairly bitter controversy and, a contest between the RSS and the BJP there. And finally, Mr. Modi went up to the leadership, and the head of the RSS in Gujarat was transferred out of there, and the RSS had absolutely no role to play. Mr. Modi had the popularity in Gujarat to win elections on his own along with his organization. So I guess that is what is going to happen now. Nadda has already declared that the BJP is going to function as an autonomous unit. The RSS has nothing to do with it. So the idea is that the BJP thinks under Mr. Modi that they are competent enough to be able to fight their own electoral battles, and they do not need any support from the RSS. And I guess that is what is going to happen. Unless, of course, Mr. Modi goes and actually changes tack and then say, no, the RSS and BJP must work together like they have done in several states. Madhya Pradesh, for instance, very well pointed out by Mr. Ragi.
All right, Professor Ragi, do you concur with Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, what he says?
Let me tell you that RSS time and again has repeatedly said that it doesn't interfere with the system of the governance or mechanism of the governance at all. Yes, on ideological issue, when you found that Advani was crossing the limits, Lakshman Rekha, it intervened. So that cannot be compared with what is happening today. RSS again and again has said that it involves in the BJP affairs only when it is asked to do so. Secondly, there is an institutional and a structural mechanism between the RSS and the BJP. The Akhil Bharatiya Pratidhi Sabha is organized, where the BJP representative is always there. There is a coordination committee. There is a appointed man appointed by the RSS. Like today, Arunji is the person who is from Sah Sarkarwa of the RSS, who looks after that. There is a coordinator. I don't think that there is too much to be read into it. And Asutosh, my friend, don't dig up crisis in the RSS or the BJP. You are not going to find, because the ideological coordinates and ideological foundations of the RSS and the BJP are the same. And obviously, I think that you should celebrate it. That the BJP, RSS is not interfering into the matter of the governance. Rahul Gandhi, your good friend, is always talking about that the RSS interferes in the working of the government. Now, today you are saying that, you know.
All right, okay, I'm running out of time. Let's not get into... okay, sir, 10 seconds are coming. Because
I think Professor Ragi has endorsed what I said, that RSS is not a cultural organization, it's a hardcore political organization. This is what he has endorsed, what I wanted to say.
Okay,
I always say that Sangh doesn't interfere in the politics, but the Sanshaks always have the right to interfere into the politics.
It wants to control politics.
Okay, fine. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that, because as someone who follows Indian politics, I think our viewers would be very intrigued on what's going on in the last 1 week, because you had Mr. Bhagwat come out and say what he did, and then there seemed to be from the RSS word coming out that he really didn't mean to take any or speak of the Prime Minister in any way at all. But then you've had today and Indresh Kumar possibly echo the same sentiment. You've had write-ups in the organizer, which was seen as the mouthpiece of the RSS. So one does wonder, which feeds the grapevine with what we've been talking about. But we look ahead and see how this relationship develops in days to come. Appreciate all four gentlemen for joining us. Thank you there. What we're going to do now is quickly shift focus to a story where collectively we should be very shameful of. A woman in Gujarat's Vadodara is facing discrimination because she's Muslim. She's being denied a home she rightfully deserves. A Muslim woman was allotted a unit in the Vadodara Municipal Corporation's low-income group housing complex under the Mukhya Mantri Awas Yojana all the way back in 2017. The residents of the same call it a Hindu-dominated society where a Muslim shouldn't be bought in.
Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! Jai Sri Ram! These protesters are denying a woman her house because she is a Muslim. The woman was allotted a flat in Vadodara Municipal Corporation's low-income group housing complex in Harni under the Mukhya Mantri Awas Yojana in 2017. But the other allottees went on a protest. They wrote to the authorities demanding the allotment to the Muslim woman to be cancelled.
किसी व्यक्ति के मौलिक अधिकार को ये जहाँ दस्तावेज हो गया है उसको रद्द करके उसको दूसरी जगह पे देना मुश्किल काम है। फिर भी इनका जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, इनका जो रजूआत है, उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए हम लोग जो मकान धारक है उसके साथ भी बात करेंगे। दस्तावेज अगर कैंसिल हो सकता है तो दूसरी स्कीम में मकान देने के लिए उनको समझाया जाएगा।
The complainants mentioned in the letter that their housing society is Hindu-dominated and they want the decision to allow the Muslim woman a place in the society invalidated.
एक लघुमती यहाँ रहने आ जाएगा तो आजू बाजू सबको तकलीफ हुई। हमारी बात ये की है कि लघुमती को उनके विस्तार में आवास दिया जाए और हिंदू को हिंदू के विस्तार में ही आवास देने चाहिए।
The woman, who is a single mother, says her dreams are shattered. She is facing discrimination for the past 6 years, but is not ready to give up. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, moving on now. Monsoon is yet to sweep Maharashtra, leaving many areas parched. India Today visited a village in Nashik district where people are now compelled to consume contaminated water because the wells have all but dried up.
This village, just 55 kilometers from Nashik city, has neither Nal nor Jal. Rather, Nal se Jal is a dream that 2,000 odd people who live in Kopurli Khurd share.
This is the drum. This is for the daily use, like for washing their utensils, their clothes. Just look at the condition. People living in the city won't even touch such water. Such is the condition over here. Now, this you see the utensil over here, they call it handa. Now look at the condition of water over here. This is the drinking water. There's all lot of dirt and people are forced to use forced to drink such water.
What people here have are common wells, which are filled by water tankers. The women come to the well every morning to get their share of water.
सकाळी 5 पासून उठायचं तर 1-2 पर्यंत ते पाण्याचंच काम आम्हाला पुरतं. पाणी जायचं तिथं नंबर लावायचे, मग पाणी विहिरीतून काढायचं, घरी आणायचं, घरी आल्यावर स्वयंपाक बनवायचा, मग जेवण करायचं आणि आम्हाला बाहेर कामाला जावं लागतं, रोजगार करावा लागतो आणि मग ते बाहेरून काम करून आल्यावर ते पैसे आणले का मग परत ते पाण्यालाच वापर करून घ्यायचा. म्हणजे आम्हाला दुसरीकडे काही करताच येत नाही.
एप्रिल पासून पाणी नसतं, मग 27-28 एप्रिल पासून हे टँकरचं पाणी टाकतं, पण ते पण पाणी असं बाकीच्या बायांना भेटतं, बाकीच्या बायांना कोणी तर हंडेरी कामीच घेऊन जातात. म्हणजे कमीत कमी मार्च एप्रिल आणि मे 3 महिने तर पाणीच गावात नाही आणि हे जूनचे 15 दिवस म्हणजे आता फक्त 7 जून पासून पाऊस पडल्यामुळे हे विहिरीत पाणी दिसतं तुम्हाला.
The water often is not fit for drinking.
तर मी दवाखान्यात काम करते, तिथं डिलिव्हरीसाठी पाणी लागत, पाणी भेटत नाही, सिस्टर विकत घेतात, जुलाब होतंय, पाणी दूषित राहतंय ना, कुठलं तरी टँकरचं पाणी वापरतात, आणतात आणि जुलाब होतंय, सर्दी खोकला होतोय. 10-12 असं पेशंट येतात ना आमच्याकडे, मी राहते तिथं.
The villagers pay for the water they get. 1 drum or 200 liters of water costs 60 rupees. This is used for washing clothes and toilets. Drinking water comes in small utensils at a rate of roughly 1 rupee a litre. There is one Zilla Panchayat water tank in the middle of the village. In summer, the tank goes dry.
आमची एकच अपेक्षा आहे का गावात मोठी टाकी व्हावा आणि प्रत्येक घरी नळ व्हावा, पाण्याची व्यवस्था. आमचे पहिल्यापासून हे एकच स्वप्न आहे का गावात पाणी यावा.
This village does not have single tap in any of the houses. The villagers are only demanding that they get good fresh water for drinking and also for essential purposes so that the development of the village happens. With camera person Rakesh Salaskar and Praveen Thakre, this is Saurabh Vaktania in Koparli Khurd village of Nashik district for India Today.
And that, viewers, was our Get Real India segment. Puts a lot in perspective, doesn't it? We're going to leave it at that. Have yourselves a good weekend. Monday, Rajdeep Sardesai is back on News Today. Thank you for watching.